Okay, share screen. Here we go.
You can now start sharing the screen and everybody will see it.
Are we good now?
We are good now.
Okay, all right. Hallelujah. Okay. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will start a little late, but better late than never. So we'll move quickly here through the slides. Our topic here is practical implementation of quantum medicine, a review of the medical devices, protocols, and technologies currently available in the arsenal of advanced integrative medicine. Because of the fools, it's hard to do justice to this subject in 25 minutes. So I put here an index so we can switch around between slides. And I'll only, because of the short time, we'll be able to speak only no more than 3 minutes on each topic. So we'll move forward here. Let's go back. No. Okay. We want to use some examples of technologies that are used in advanced integrated medicine. Basically, we're using electromagnetic frequencies, which includes light, oxygen as ozone, and water. But we're not just talking about regular water. Now, if we were to look at what the mechanisms of action of those three things on the body, we would have to revert to quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and chemistry. So, basically, we want to take a very high concept of quantum medicine and bring it down to practical terms, where there's technologies, equipment, and medical treatment protocols to treat a wide range of diseases, both acute and chronic. So we'll now move forward to the slides. This is a magnetic resonance device, also plasma wand. These are also all quantum-based medical tools. This is hydrogen, inhalation of molecular hydrogen, as well as enriching water for getting that into the body. It is known in the medical literature that inhaling or drinking water infused with molecular hydrogen improves athletic performance. It neutralizes free radicals. It increases ATP, and sports people use it because they have quicker recovery. So we'll go on to the next. Quantum entanglement, the Baxter effect, the secret life of plants. It's a very interesting book. Cleve Baxter was the one who used the polygraph to see how plants react, and that they have their conscience. And this basically brings us to the universal law of quantum entanglement and action at a distance. It's how all of nature communicates. Okay, let's move here. Biophotonics is a branch of quantum biology. We'll talk about the work of the researcher, Professor Fritz Albert Popp, who basically stated that we know today that man is essentially a being of light. Wait, let me move these things around. Okay. And modern medicine, okay. Science, photobiology is presently proving this. In terms of healing, the implications are immense. We know, for example, that quanta of light can initiate or arrest cascade-like reactions in the cells, and that genetic cellular damage can be virtually repaired within hours by faint beams of light. So he did a lot of research. We're not going to go, I don't have time to go through all the slides. I will be uploading this entire presentation so that it can be viewed in its entirety, because the information it contains is very important. I just want to state that we believe in a systems approach of combining a number of technologies, tools, and medical protocols. We don't believe in quantum medicine. One size does not fit all, and everyone is individual. So we like to combine a number of tools that work also as monotherapies, but also have a synergy between each other. Going now, not just with treatment technologies, but also diagnostics. I'd like to just touch base shortly on Dr. Konstantin Karotokov and his technology for diagnosing disease. the entire system called gas discharge visualization, and it's based on a Carillion effect. Okay, we will skip over all this. Basically, this device, when you put the fingers of the human hand and scan them, it's connected to a computer and runs algorithms that does diagnostics down to the cellular level and shows all of the various different systems and their condition, their state. Here's an example. It will show the chakras. It'll show the bioenergetic field, also known as the aura, around the human body. As you can see on the one side, the field is very full and it's very homogeneous. You can see on the other, it is broken and it's not homogeneous, showing that there are problems, health problems, and we can very accurately diagnose disease, and as a feedback loop as well. When we are providing any kind of treatment, we can again test the patient and see how the body reacted in real time. So again, we can diagnose very accurately down to the cellular level, all the various different organ systems. Okay, we will move on to biophotonic therapy. Biophotonic therapy is a treatment that I've been involved with for 35 years all over the world, including in Africa. It is, as you can see in the ground, a very simple procedure. We do a venipuncture. It's a one-time closed loop that has a quartz cuvette that's put in a device which exposes the blood to UVC in the therapeutic band, 254 nanometers. The blood being photochemical, so it absorbs the photons according to Stokes' law, Einstein's law of photon emission, and many other that we'll see in the subsequent slides. It's a very safe treatment. There are many mechanisms of action. As again, we stated the mechanism of action, and like we said, Broca's Draper law, Bunsen-Roscoe, Einstein's law of photon emission. Okay, we also, because this treatment is very effective on all infections. Any virus, bacteria is destroyed. Throughout evolution, pathogens have never adapted to not being destroyed by exposure to UVC, ozone as well, hydrogen peroxide. So it actually acts as an auto vaccine. Some of the things that this treatment does, basically we're taking 5% of the blood volume from the patients, 3 cc per kilogram of body weight. As you can see, myself, I do these treatments as preventative because it also neutralizes free radicals. So it's part of our anti-aging protocol. And when the blood is taken out and then returned, again, being exposed to UVC, we also in our protocol add ozone to the bottle that you see with the blood. That's called a biox. There's a great synergy. They're both monotherapies, but when there's a great synergy between the two, with a biophotonic, because the blood is photochemical, similar to film, it absorbs the photons, and when the blood is returned to the patient, there are biosecondary emissions up to 42 weeks, and they're cumulative. Every treatment adds to the last, like charging a battery, 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow. Now, as the blood is returned to the body in this procedure, there are many profound effects on the body. There are many homeostatic changes, blood parameter changes, and metabolic changes. It's an instant vasodilator, vasodilating all 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels. It's going to raise intravenous oxygen. It acts as an auto vaccine because whatever pathogen is in the blood, it deactivates, destroys. Now, when the blood is returned to the body, the immune system can now recognize the surface antigens and make an immune-specific response to that particular pathogen. So it acts as an auto vaccine. So it really doesn't matter the name of the pathogen. And this is very, very pertinent to what the world has experienced in the last 2 years with COVID. And, we have to also, society and humanity also has to plan for future either man-made or natural pandemics. We need medical tools that can give a treatment that will not allow someone to have to die from any kind of infection, Another hallmark of these treatments is that it's a very powerful immune modulator. And by that, I mean, if you're immune suppressed, it's going to boost the immune system. But if there's an autoimmune condition where the body's attacking self, in this case, in an overwhelming infection, it'll be cytokine storm. So these treatments downregulate the immune system and prevent the cytokine storm and septic shock and eventual death, God forbid. These been tested on many different diseases. During COVID, our colleagues in Italy and here in Israel, we used it very successfully in treating patients and preventing them in Israel from even arriving to the hospital. But our colleagues in Italy actually used it in a hospital setting and had a very high success rate of over 70% of people that were in very serious condition. Magnetic resonance therapy. All energy is electromagnetic nature, and nothing happens in the body without electromagnetic exchange between cells. We are all familiar with the electrocardiogram, EKG, and electroencephalograph, EEG tests, which measure the electromagnetic activity of the heart and brain respectively. When electromagnetic activity ceases, life ceases. Electromagnetic energy controls our chemistry. Disruption of this energy in cells causes impaired cell metabolism. And if our cells are not healthy, our body is not healthy in whole or in part. This is a device that we use at Quantum Medical Center here in Israel. This device is the only one in the world that both pulses the electromagnetic fields, of which we control the frequencies and the waveforms. It also is able to rotate the field clockwise or counterclockwise, depending if you want to affect the sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system. This treatment does many things. First of all, it's opening up all the cell membranes so that any treatment that we're going to do after exposure of 15-20 minutes to the field in this device, because it's opening up all the membranes, you're going to have maximum absorption of cells of the nutrients and oxygen, as well as expulsion of toxins. It also will raise a voltage level. A healthy cell between 75 and 100 millivolts, the internal cell voltage. A sick cell is below 75 millivolts. So this treatment will increase the cell voltage, and if it's not capable of doing that, then it'll put into the capsase cascade, which is the fancy name for programmed cell death, otherwise known as apoptosis. Okay. It improves many parameters in the body, circulation, has a normalizing effect on the nervous system. It's good for pain. It's good for speeding up wound healing, especially with fractured bones. It increases ATP in the cell, as we need. It immediately increases energy. There are many things that we treat with this device, as it's also non-invasive, and in all the years that we've used it, we've never found ill side effects. Actually, it makes people sleep very deeply when they're in a device. Okay, we're not able to go through all the slides, but I will, like I said, post this presentation so that everyone can see it in its entirety. Another technology, SCANR technology, which is an acronym for self-controlled energo-neuroadaptive regulator. This device was developed by the Russians for the space program for the cosmonauts. Basically, the problem is when they're on the space station and they're recirculating urine, if one of the cosmonauts was on a medication, it wasn't able to filter out that molecule, even though otherwise it was pure water, and so everyone will be on the same medication. So they said, well, what do you know about the human body? Well, it's a veritable pharmaceutical company, can produce whatever element it needs to heal itself. The second question was, how do we stimulate the body to do so? The SCANR device, what it does is it's in a feedback loop through silver electrodes, the skin being a sensor, which will, all the information, the state of the internal organs is present on the skin. So it both diagnoses and then it prepares its signals to give it back through the skin. And what it does is these electrical signals, which are constantly changing and they're dynamic, unlike a TENS, which the electrical signal is the same all the time. So the body sees it as a noise and it turns it off. So it's constantly adapting itself to the body's needs and requirements. And what it's essentially doing is stimulating C-neuropeptides. C-neuropeptides is basically the precursor which the body can create whatever substances it needs to heal itself. This technology has AI in it, so it's constant. It never gives the same treatment twice to the same person or even different people, and it's adaptive. It's excellent for pain. It's excellent for nervous exhaustion, depression, muscle spasms, and any initial stages of inflammatory processes and impotence caused by nervous exhaustion. The skin has a unique ability to combine function of diverse sensor and receptor for signals, which are different in their physical nature. For example, cutaneous integument, which is just a fancy name for skin, perceives signals of such irritants as mechanical, if that's acupuncture, massage, or thermal action, electrical current, magnetic field, biological field, a laser ray, or ultrasound. These all have an effect on the skin. As a receptor, the skin can perceive external information in the form of electrical, optical, thermal, chemical, magnetic, mechanical, and other signals, process it, form appropriate coded signals, which is what the scanner is doing. It's forming the appropriate coded signals that it created according to the body's signals that it gave it as far as diagnostic signals, and then it transmits them into the control system of the human body through the skin. More significant for scanner therapy are transmission of information in the form of electrical signals, which is the quickest way, and the way is what we are doing, and the transmission of these signals through the skin membrane, and it reaches all the various different organ systems. Okay, we don't really have enough time to go through all the slides on it, but it is an amazing advice. People need to know about it. This is part of our quantum medical, let's say, tool chest. Now we'll go to medical ozone therapy. In all my 35 years of medical ozone therapy, as with the other therapies, it has never disappointed us, ozone being O3. And there are many, many different protocols for performing ozone. The machine you see above is one of the best machines that have the most, let's say, wide range of possibilities of delivering, whether it's subcutaneous, major autohemotherapy on the blood, minor autohemotherapy, rectal insufflation, vaginal insufflation, subcutaneous injections under the skin, so it's used in aesthetics because it restores collagen and elastin. It's truly a miraculous substance. It's been known to Western medicine for over 125 years, was discovered by Frederick Schonbein, a German scientist. In the last 20 and 30 years, both in Russia and Europe, many developments and many research projects with over 1,000 peer-reviewed medical journal articles and equipment that they built based on the findings of the studies, where we want to optimize the dose. Ozone is very interesting in that if you give the lower range of doses, you stimulate the immune system and can increase blood flow. But if you want to cause an immune suppression effect or stop blood flow, if there's excessive bleeding, you would give it in a high range dose. So basically, it can do the exact opposite things. It's very dose dependent. Again, it's used in many applications in medicine, in surgery, and internal medicine, urology. The list is very, very long. We don't have enough time to go into all of it, but it is definitely life-saving. Okay, it has bactericidal action, virucidal action, fungicidal action. It also has a systemic effect on restoring homeostasis to the body. Improves the oxygen transport properties of the blood. It is also a vasodilator and a mechanism of action on that is because it's a precursor to NOx, nitrous oxide. So when we give ozone treatments, that is one of the reasons. Immediately we see the pinking effect in the skin because it's vasodilating, especially in microcirculation in the capillaries. So there's many effects. Also has a powerful analgesic effect in pain. Okay, now we're getting to the best part, or let's say we're moving quickly through this, the fourth phase of water. Now, I'm sure people listening to this presentation, if we were asked how many phases of water there are, they would naturally answer 3, solid, liquid, and vapor. But we're happy to announce that we discovered, and this started back 100 years ago, discovering this anomaly, which water has over 70 anomalies we can't explain. And it's the fourth phase of water. It's called easy water, easy being short for exclusion zone. Okay, a lot of the research being done on this is Dr. Gerald Pollock. Congratulations to him for bringing this to the world. And I'll go quickly, here, why only one cloud when the vapor rises all over? If you ponder nature, these are questions that would come to mind. So it warrants further research. And, our formula in doing research is C². Comprehend and copy nature, but first we must comprehend nature before we can copy it, or at least attempt to copy it. So the answer here is the exclusion phenomenon. Is it general? Does it really arise from water ordering, meaning clustered water? Can water ordering explain anomalies? Oh, yes, it can. And what energy creates this order? Might these findings apply broadly? And yes, and we're going to explore that. Evidence that exclusion zone water is physically different from bulk water. Okay, so yes, on all these topics, we don't have time to go one by one, but you can see them and what test was done to check the various different changes in the water. This is showing that the easy layers. And first, let's explain how easy water is made. The first layer, the grayer layer, at the left hand, I guess, of the screen, to your left, you see a darker gray. That is a hyperphilic substance, which when water in the container is coming up against a hydrophilic, meaning water-loving substance, it creates an exclusion zone. So you can see the water closest to that hydrophilic substance is minus, so it's changing charge. And the bulk water on the other side is positive. It's actually like a battery. This is a pH sensitivity dye to show the naphthion, which is a hydrophilic material. And you can see the water closest to the naphthion is a negative charge, as opposed to the bulk water on the other side. These are anomalies you can see of structured water or easy water. You can't do this with ordinary water. You can see there's a bridge of water between the two glasses, and the water is stiff enough for the bridge from collapsing. Here you can see a coin floating in the glass of water of easy water, because easy water is more viscous, let's say, so kind of like more gel-like than a fluid as it is in its liquid state. Here you can see easy coalescing over time because it's actually structuring itself. We don't have time to read all this. Okay, again, we can see here how it acts as a battery, where you have the hydrophilic surface and then the water next to it, which is the easy water, the exclusion zone, and then the bulk water on the other side. Now, how does the water getting charged and from what? Well, we've discovered that, and also here where these charts are showing that there is a confirmed charge separation between the plus and minus. Okay, now how is this charge, how is this water being charged? Where is this energy coming from? Well, it turns out from light, particularly in the infrared region. This is the energy that charges the water and actually structures it. Okay. Water is among the many phenomenon, as the work of Professor Kimoto in Japan on how thoughts can affect water and the structure of water. Well, this is exactly the case. Water has memory. In fact, that's in the brain where actually memory is stored in the fluid, not the physical brain itself, with the research that's been done. Okay, we're going to jump here. So basically what we're saying as far as application, because of the 5 oxidative states in this matrix, has huge information storage capacity potential. This could be the new computer memory. Okay, and this has to do with the right shift of the lattices. So we're not going to go into extreme detail, but you'll be able to see the presentation in its entirety. Here we're showing a hollow tube made from hydrophilic material that's in a tube format. When put in a dish of water, the water will start flowing through the tube. Okay, so the radiant energy is. So then the question is, might radiant energy help drive blood flow in the body? Well, the answer is yes. To make sense of this picture, where it's basically capillaries where blood has to go single file. Now, if you talk to people in hydraulics and pressures, yes, the heart is part of the system in pumping the blood, but is not the only one. And this we discovered in tests in mice where their blood flows even 1 hour post-mortem. And also in humans, we have seen that even after a person dies, their blood is still flowing hours after. So it's obviously not the heart. There's another mechanism going on here because of the structure of water. Certainly more research is warranted, but this is a very exciting discovery for health because, as I said, we're using electromagnetic energy, including light. Oxygen is ozone, and water. And these 3 elements, we would all agree, without them, there will be no life on Earth, period. And again, to explain the mechanisms of action of how they affect the body, we would have to go to quantum physics, mechanics, and chemistry to explain. So we think the synergy is of these different technologies and these various medical protocols, which we didn't have a chance to get deeply on any one of them, but it's important for people to see the big picture and that these technologies and devices are available. We are happy to consult for governments and private entities who want to implement these technologies and medical protocols in private medical centers or in hospitals where it could save many lives. And especially with all these emerging pandemics and pathogens and all the death and misery and destruction it causes, we need to have tools in our arsenal of medicine where it doesn't matter what the name of the pathogen. And again, I want to stress that throughout evolution, which is billions of years, none other pathogens ever adapted to being destroyed by exposure to UVC, to ozone, hydrogen peroxide, and other very strong oxidizers, which destroys their envelope, and then the body can recognize the surface antigens and make an immune-specific response. So this is very important to know that we don't have to be hysterical or paranoid about what we do. And the next time there is another pathogen that attacks the world, whether it was created naturally or by man, we'll leave that to the side. But we still need these weapons in the arsenal of medicine to prevent untimely death from these pathogens. Again, this is on a person. This is a post-mortem circulation in the blood, showing that the blood is flowing long after the patient died. So obviously it is not the heart pumping the blood through the system. And, this brings us to the question, where do we get our energy? Well, food is one of them, but also light. And it's the light that's absorbed by the water, which we are over 70% water. But it's important that the water is structured water, because water, in order to hydrate cells, need to be at a surface tension of 45 dynes. Most water that's consumed by the population is over 75 dynes. So the body has to work very hard to reduce the surface tension so that it can enter the cells, where it can hydrate the cells and remove toxins. So the kind of water you drink is very important on the health of the person. And that's, again, another subject into itself. We're going to post this both at the FLOGEN website and at the familyofisrael.org website on the landing page for translational medicine. So you'll be able to dive deeper on all these various different subjects. And again, this is good news for the world. We want people to be knowledgeable that there are technologies, there are devices that can be used. And many of these treatments can even be done at home, not just in a clinical setting. And so we will leave you with that. Thank you for your attention, and God bless you. See you tomorrow for my next 2 presentations. Take care and God bless.